Okay, so who are you and what do you do?
My name is Brady. First and foremost, I'm an artist. I make music, but then I also am one half of Shared Entertainment.
My name is Shannon Brady. I go by Shan Boody or Shan Boodram. I could not remember. Too many names. And I am one half of Shared Entertainment. I am a sex and relationship educator. I script, I write, I research.
I do post-production, lighting, editing, producer. I also work with the sound.
Overall, I'm like a big brand strategist. Oh, I don't have my ring on.
Shelf putter-upper, moral support, lover, husband.
I do casting sometimes, and I'm a photographer for Jared Brady. I am also a cameraman or camera woman for Jared Brady. What does Shared Entertainment do?
It's a two-person production company that makes various forms of content. It ranges from video, audio, books, music. We also partner with nonprofits and other brands such as Squarespace. And I would love to tell you more about that because they sponsored this video. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Squarespace is where Shan hosts and designs her websites, including her personal site and thegameofdesire.com. Go to squarespace.com/shanbooty to start playing around for free.
What's it like working with your significant other?
Working with your significant other has its ups and downs, but it always brings us together, which I like. I've never worked with any past partners before, so this is the first. I have nothing to gauge it off of, but it's...
One of the greatest gifts I think of working with my partner is I used to feel a lot of guilt for how much I want to talk about work, for how much I want to brainstorm. And like whenever, when you and your partner are in the car together and there's some dead space, and they're like, what are you thinking? And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm trying to think of the title for tomorrow's video. And they want you to say, like, oh, I'm thinking about you, or da-da-da-da. But I feel like with Jay, like both of us, if we just ask that question spontaneously, we'd both have a work-related response.
I think that Shan and I have very different artistic styles. And, for me, like, I get excited about certain things. I get excited about, doing things that are not necessarily beauty driven. I like to make, things very dramatic with lighting. I like to make shadow. I like to make things a little bit more green. Shan hates green. She likes her stuff very white, but we always compromise and we find a middle ground where we both get to still be inspired and excited about the project.
You have to be honest about the power dynamics in your relationship. Are they clearly defined? Are they respected? And is each partner comfortable in either position? Because when you work together, it's about leaning on your partner's strengths and being honest about your own weaknesses. And if you're with a prideful person that can't do that and always likes to lead, unless you're the person who always wants to be submissive, working with them is going to be a nightmare. You also need to be mindful of how good are you guys at conflict resolution. Now, luckily in our case, because I actually tried to work with a partner before Jared, and can I just say,
I would say that you got to make sure you hold up your end of the bargain. So if you're the editor, or if you're the lighter, or if you're whatever you bring to the table that you are going to be the expert in, make sure that you're learning and you're always growing in that side. And you're always thinking of new innovative ways of getting things done.
You also have to know the difference between like your work personality and your romantic personality, because they're probably not the same person. Like work me is just not the Shan Boody that you see on camera. She's really strict and she cries and she's over analytical and she gets very stressed out and she's anal as fuck, and I like things done in a particular way and I get very serious. And so I think I've seen people get really shocked at my work personality, and my partner has to be able to acknowledge this is not a reflection of how my romantic self feels about them. And so I think that the two of you have to really be clear about, you're not working with your lover, you're working with the version of your lover that goes to work, and that might be two very separate people.
It sucks too because we work where we live, we work where we have sex, we work where we eat, we work here in our home where we love each other. So when we wake up, there has to be a switch in our brains to be like, no, it's time for work. You're not my lover right now, you're my coworker. So this is not time for cuddle breaks, Shannon.
Is there a part of you that gets jealous of music?
There is no part of me. You know what's a really fascinating thing about Jared and I's dynamic is that when we got together, we were friends with benefits. And so we've always had an acknowledgement that our relationship wasn't like the most important thing in the whole world to us. And even though it is in many ways the most important thing in the whole world to me, work is still really, really up there. And when I met Jared, he didn't want a relationship because music and work was really, really important to him. So that was built into the fabric of me getting to know him as a person. Before he fell in love with me, he was in love with music. Before he dreamt of having a wife, he dreamt of having a massive career in that space. And so I can never get jealous of music because I've always known what music has meant to him. And I think the same thing with me and my career. He knows I moved to California and I left my incredible family, which he has the privilege of now being a part of that family. And so he knows the sacrifices I made for my work. So he never really asks me to choose, or I never feel like he's competing or jealous of that, because that, again, that relationship was both of our first loves. Did you ever worry that our work relationship would destroy our romantic relationship?
Oh yeah, I worried all the time that our work relationship would ruin our relationship. Because, you know, in the beginning, I knew nothing about anything when it came to camera, when it came to editing, when it came to producing, when it came to coming up with content, I didn't know anything. So in the beginning, there was a little bit of like, of a learning curve, and I wasn't as quick, and I was a little bit slower, and I didn't understand the game, and I didn't understand like all of it. So there was a lot of mistakes that were being made. And I could foresee that if those mistakes continued, that would bleed into our relationship, because that would bleed into our financial situation. So I knew in my head that I had to figure out how to work that camera. I knew in my head that I had to figure out how to edit. I knew in my head that I had to figure out how to light her better than anybody. I knew I had to figure out how to do these things. I knew I had to figure out everything that she was doing, and I had to figure out how to do it better than she was doing it.
If you were to hire somebody to work for me or with me, what would be 3 requirements they would have to have?
So if you are going to work for or with Jared Brady, here are the secret tips that you actually need to know. Number 1, he wants your opinion, but he doesn't really want your opinion. Like, he wants your opinion and he wants your perspective, but if he's pushed back once, like, nah, I don't want to do that, drop it. Like, let it go. Do not plead your case. Do not push any further.
You got to know that if it takes you 30 minutes to do it, you probably didn't do it right. So if you're going to, you know, jump on board, you have to make sure that you're following through and going through everything thoroughly, because the time and also you have to be a problem solver yourself. If you don't know how to do it, go fucking figure it out. Go make it happen. I gotta make sure that you are self-sustaining. And even if, you know, you don't know what to do in a certain situation, Shan probably don't know, but she'll figure it out. She needs a partner who is going to be able to figure it out just the same way she would figure it out.
Jay gets into work modes. So if he's like really going and gunning for hours, don't break him out of that, because it might take him a while to get back into the workflow. So for me, like, I like cuddle breaks. You know, I like to make out. I like a little midday sex, but I've learned that for him, it's probably better to allow him to stay in that workflow. Not that if you work for him, you'd be wanting to have sex with him, which I guess maybe you would. He's really hot. Would you recommend someone else to work with their significant other?
I would not.
I do recommend working with your partner, even though Jared did not.
I would not. I think that what we have is pretty rare. But then again, I don't really have anything to judge off of it. But I will say that I don't even like really working with people that often. So the fact that I get along with Shannon and we actually do work in a very tame and normal and good manner, I don't know if it could happen again. So if you're gonna work with your partner, good luck. We got lucky.
I have worked with several different people, and I actually worked with somebody who I thought was really great. And in the end of like their first 2 weeks of working with me, they gave me this crazy invoice. And I was like, holy and for the amount of hours that Jared puts into my project and my world and my things, like he you don't charge that much. You get the homie discount when you're with someone that you love, and nobody else is going to care the way that your family is going to care, the way that your lover is going to care, the way that you care. So I really feel like if you can find somebody who you have shared history and shared love with, and you guys have a shared vision, you can work together to amplify that, and no one's counting hours, and people are just excited for the overall growth of the brand and will do anything possible to accomplish that beyond what their job title says. Like, I don't know if you find that in an employee. So I know for a fact I would not have gotten as far as fast as I did if it weren't for working with my significant other. So for that reason, I can't not recommend it.
There's nothing that I'd rather do than to create things that I love with the person that I love.
Oh, come sit with me.
I'm not sitting, you're sitting on my lap. I'm not sitting.
See, this is the power dynamic thing I was telling you guys about. You gotta make sure the power dynamic is good. All right, in closing, we just wanna hear from you in the comment section. Have you ever worked with either a friend or a lover? How did it go? What are your recommendations? Or what are your warning tips?
Let us know in the comment section.
It's not the comic section. This is the thing with Jared. If you guys picked up on this, he always messes things up just a little touch.
I do it on purpose.
Okay, don't mess this up.
I do it on purpose because I want to make sure you guys are paying attention. And I need you guys to have something to comment about.
Well, speaking of paying attention, check out this Squarespace read because we love them. They've been a big part of our business and really clarifying what Cher does, what Jared does, what I do, what my book is about. And we've created different websites for different facets of our business. And there's no excuse not to because you can actually get a 2-week free trial and play around there. So boom, go ahead and watch that.
All right, so we all know that Squarespace has stunning templates so you can design your dream site. But here's some things you might not know about. Simultaneous posting. Auto post your content to Twitter, Facebook, or Tumblr. Traffic overview. Gain insights into the top traffic sources, products, device types, browsers, and operating systems by visits. Subscriptions. Easily sell subscriptions to products and services on a weekly or monthly basis to generate recurring revenue and build customer loyalty. Email campaigns. Stand out in any inbox with Squarespace email campaigns. Site management. Squarespace Blogs lets you manage blog comments and entries on the go. If you listened this far, go check it out for yourself at squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/ShanBoody to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.